Hey, welcome back to another episode of the King Ragone Show on the Believe Network and the Draft Network. We're here with friend and teammate Jake Garcia.
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Of course,
Thank
bro. What up?
What's going on?
No,
Same road.
yeah, we kind of been wanting to get you on for a little bit. Just come and talk. There's a lot, you know, going on. With spring and stuff, and last season. But we just want to start off basically asking, like, some people might not know where you're from because you went to school in Georgia, but you're from Cali, things like that. So go ahead and basically just tell us where you're from.
Right. So I'm from Los Angeles, California. I stayed in probably about 25 minutes from downtown LA, in a city called Whittier. But I grew up there, lived there for 18 years, and then obviously ended up moving to Georgia for my senior year of high school, and that was a crazy experience. But I'll go back home every now and then when we get the free time and go back and work out with my quarterback coach Danny, and um, it's a great place to be from. But I'm happy to be here in Miami.
How was that transition from going to California, LA to Georgia? Like, what was like? Was it a big difference?
Yeah, no, it was definitely a culture shock, I would say. As you can imagine, I went from the big city, Los Angeles, to Valdosta, Georgia, and that's down in South Georgia, about 25 minutes from the border of Florida. And that was a culture shock. And I mean, I would say that in LA, football is big. It's not like where you guys are from. But definitely going over to South Georgia is a culture shock, and just seeing a football town, that was huge for me. That was super cool, and just being able to see like a whole community back in the program was huge.
Yeah, I know you said football is big in LA, but how was it like growing up football wise? Was it little league games, middle school? Like, how was all that?
Yeah, no, we didn't. You don't get too many people to your games unless you're at the Mater Days, the Boscos, those big private school Division ones. So I mean, my school, I went to Long Beach probably my freshman year of high school. That was first semester. We had quite a few people at those games. That school had put out the most guys into the league. Um,
Who was the
and
quarterback at the time?
Matt Corral.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I was right
Like, yeah,
behind. I was right behind Matt and got to learn from Matt, and that was a great experience to be able to see the way that he handled things, and just like prepared for a game, and just handled himself on the field, and handle situations off the field. So that was a great opportunity for me. Then from there, I went to Narbonne High School, and
where's
ended
Narbo?
Narbonne. That was about, I'll say, 20 minutes from there. That's in Harbor City, Torrance area. So ended up going there. That was kind of like a little bit of like a rival school, which it just happened.
Yeah,
But went there, went there and played for my sophomore year, my junior year, and we got shut down. So I ended up having to transfer from there to La Habra High School, which is like 15 minutes from my house. Um, and prior to that, Narbonne was like an hour and 25 minutes with traffic in the morning, and without traffic, it's like a 30-minute drive. So it was cool to be back by the area, back home, be able local for my senior year, what expected to be my senior year at La Habra. Learned the playbook, went through spring ball, and COVID happened, so that shut us down. Moved to Georgia, went to Valdosta, played a game, and then ended up getting ineligible there. Went up to Grayson and finished out one state.
Netflix show. How was the whole Netflix experience, bro? That shit's pretty cool. I watched it all. How was that experience?
Yeah, the Netflix experience, it was cool. It was cool being able to be exposed to the, I guess, the environment of just always having eyes on you. We walk around school, and I mean, you have a mic on you the whole time in school. You know what I'm saying? So just like having all eyes on you. I woke up one time, they were in my room, and I was just like, nah, this is done. You know what I'm saying? But it was a cool experience. It was a cool experience to be able to deal with it, and to be able to give people down in Valdosta that hadn't had the same, like, in high school. I had a lot of attention coming out of high school, and you have a lot of the rivals, people, the 24/7 people that are based out of LA. So I mean, I had a lot of eyes on me. But for a school like Valdosta, um, which is considered Title Town High, and they have that title for the most games won and the most state championships won. Um, for those kids to be able to have those eyes on them was super cool too.
No, yeah, I wanted to ask you about that Netflix show. So, what ended up causing you to be ineligible there, or what happened?
Yeah, so my parents had gotten a legal separation. My mom stayed back home and ended up working. She had a job back home, so she stayed working. My dad's retired, so my dad moved out there with me. And during this time, during COVID, we were thinking about like where we're gonna go. Maybe if I just sit out, maybe I just don't play my senior year. But I hadn't played a full season of football yet, so I'm like, man, I want to play football. I want to play my senior year football. I want to play a full season. I want to go win state. Because things just didn't work out from my sophomore year. Ended up sitting for 5 games, went to the state regional game, um, and threw an interception on the last 15 seconds of the game with the 2 minute drill back and forth game, and drove it down like 70 yards and ended up throwing an interception in the back of the end zone on a fade ball, us or nobody, and it just gave my guy a shot and it got intercepted. So that didn't end up as we wanted. So I come back, bounce back my junior year, you know what I'm saying, and try to win state that year. We got shut down, and so my parents found a way for me to play, and it was just talks about Arizona, Texas, some other places around, but it was something about South Georgia football, and then we found out the Rush Post was going over there, and that was my coach. That was gonna be my coach over there, so it was a good fit, and we just made the move. My parents made it happen. So my dad went out there, lived with me, and although they had the legal separation, they were supposed to be on the same airplane, I guess, and living together still, um, which doesn't make sense, but they found a way to rule me ineligible. So that's how I got ruled ineligible over there.
Man, that's actually pretty crazy. It's really, really cool of your parents though to do all that, for you to play football. I mean, just shows the love, that they have for you. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's really, really cool to see. But what was it like, getting that? Did you get called into an office? Did you get a phone call whenever they said you're ineligible? Like, what happened?
Yeah, no, definitely. I got a. Oh, I was sitting in meetings. I was sitting in meetings. We were with the offensive coordinator and going over, watching film in the morning, and one of the boys had an Apple Watch on. One of the boys had an Apple Watch on, and he got a ring, and everybody just kind of looked at him like, "You're not supposed to have your Apple Watch." You know what I'm saying? And just have it make a ring, right? Ring, and coincidence. They look at their Apple Watch. They look at it, and they start freaking out. But they stay quiet. They don't say anything. I just look at them like, "Come on, pay attention, lock in, right?" And they end up showing me like this, show me the Apple Watch, and it's ESPN. And it says breaking: Jake Garcia transferred from California to Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia, gets ruled ineligible. That's how I found out. That's how I
Sheesh.
found out at first, and then we just kept appealing and trying to find a way to play over there, and um, got denied 3 times. Started a petition. It got a bunch of signatures. I got the backing of everybody. I mean, I got the backing of the whole country. A lot of people helped out, and wanted to see that story succeed over there at Valdosta, and it just didn't work out over there.
Yeah,
But it ended up working out for you though, because you left Valdosta with the Grayson, right?
great.
It
And
did.
y'all ended up winning the championship, so it ended up working out for you. How was that?
Yeah,
Like leaving Valdosta and transferring to Grayson. How was that?
bro, that was crazy. That was a crazy time. Um, Mind you, when we moved to Valdosta, we went over there for it was a quick decision. Within probably 4 days, we talked about it. It came up. Valdosta came up, and we moved out there. Like it was quick, you know what I'm saying? So the same thing happened with Grayson. Is I was over there at Valdosta and trying to peel it and try to play, and it didn't work out. And um, coach, we asked coach, what would you do? And at this time, I had torn my hamstring slightly, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if this was a sign from God, if I shouldn't play, if I should just go back home, or if I should finish out my semester at Valdosta and just keep getting into the offense and digging into defenses and stuff. And I'm like, no, I want to play. So I rested on my hamstring, and we made a decision within probably a couple of days after we started talking about it, to go up to Grayson. So We drove up to Grayson, packed our stuff, and left on my birthday. Made the drive up to Atlanta, 4 hours. Moved up to Grayson and learned the playbook super quick. Tried to dig into it, and that was a crazy experience trying to learn the playbook quick, really, really quick. And I had like 3 days of practice before first game. Um, but I mean, just went out there and we ran the concepts that I was comfortable with. Because football is gonna be football no matter where you go.
Nice.
And just made it work.
Yeah. So when you went to Grayson, you obviously y'all ended up winning state and stuff, but me and Derek, we like to talk about Georgia football, Texas football, California, but
Florida.
yeah, Florida. I put Florida at 2.
Are you gonna?
I put Florida number 2 behind Texas, but
Texas, Florida, Georgia, Cali.
yeah, it's Texas versus Florida and then Georgia versus Cali. Which one would you say? I don't want you to upset any people back home, and but what's better, Georgia or Cali football?
Oh, bro, you're gonna get me in trouble. There's differences. I would say I hate answering this question, but I would say the biggest difference that I noticed is if you go to a Division I school in California, you have a good shot of getting out to the Division I program, right? Um, but when I go down to South Georgia and I play against Tift County or I play against a like a 4A school or a 3A school, they have a 5-star, and it just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like back home, is only going to be the Division 1s, the Division 2s that are going to have people that are highly ranked and have all eyes on them with offers. You know what I'm saying? But you go to Georgia, there's the people that stay home and just make an impact on their team. So I would say overall, I probably give it to Georgia. Overall, I give it to Georgia.
Yeah.
But I think like if you're talking about like the sweet spots, the Division 1s, the top programs, I would give it to California.
Okay, that's respectable. So when all that stuff was happening, you transferring schools, how was that like when it came to college recruiting? Like
Yeah,
obviously you already had offers, you already had recruiting, but telling
right.
coaches like, "Hey, I'm about to move to Georgia," blah blah blah. Like, how was that?
Right. Now, at the time, I was committed to USC, so I had committed my junior year. Um, yeah, my junior year, right before the season, I think, and I had been, oh, I committed. I was committed to SC for 14 months before I decommitted and committed to Miami. Um, on signing day, signed and committed. But during that time, it was like, it was like, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna play football, and the SC staff was fine with it. They were supportive of it, which I was super thankful for. And like, go get your senior year, go get a state championship, go win, go get better. And I planned on going back to SC, going back home, but things didn't work out over there. And as soon as I got to South Georgia, that's all the southern schools started hitting my phone a little bit more.
I can imagine.
Just I was down there and asking me how I was liking it, and just seeing if I really liked the environment, the atmosphere, and that type of deal. So I mean, I had a lot of people supporting me throughout the process. That helped make it easy, but the process wasn't easy at all. Just the stress and um, I guess the stress of not knowing what was going to happen. Um, but I mean, I had my parents in my corner. I had a lot of good people in my corner, my family in my corner to help me out throughout the process.
How hard was the decision to? I know you're from LA, so how hard was that to decommit from USC to come outside the country for real and come to Miami?
Right. No, it was tough. It was definitely tough to make that decision. And I had a vision in my head of oh man, I'm going back home and all my family. My support system is crazy.
Yeah.
Like at the spring game, we have a spring game on Saturday, and how many people are going to be there is going to be a lot of my family there. So they're
Yeah.
coming all the way from California. I have my cousin Justin is driving from South Carolina, driving through the middle of the night to get over here. Is crazy the support system that I have, and I had this vision of me going back home and being able to play in front of them week in and week out. You know what I'm saying? But they were supportive of it, and as soon as I made my decision, everybody changed their stuff from SC stuff to Miami license plates and everything like that. So they were super supportive of it, and I mean, I feel like if I didn't have a family that was supportive or a support system that wasn't so supportive, it would have been a tougher decision. But I mean, they come out here and watch my games, and I mean, this is home for me.
What made you choose Miami over all the other schools? Because you had offers from every school in the country. Why Miami?
What made me choose Miami really was the fit. I felt like it was a fit with the offensive scheme that we had going on with Coach Lashley at the time, Coach Diaz, and it just felt like home for me when I came on my visits. I had come out a couple times, um, and I know I liked it. Miami had been a dream school for me since I was younger, and I just remember watching videos growing up, and like, oh, I can see myself playing there. I want to be a part of that, and it was just something about Miami football to me. And once it fit for me with Lashley um, and having De'Eric here and being able to learn behind De'Eric, almost like how I was my freshman year with Matt. Just being able to have that type of situation again, I thought it was a good situation for me. Um, and I mean, it's just a place that I know we're gonna get people, we're gonna get good players too, and a place that we could win.
Oh yeah, for sure. That a lot of people. That's always the reason when they come to Miami. They know that, well, quarterback wise, they know that they could get people. Like when Derek said he was coming here, it was because he wanted a great defense. Like he knew he was going to get good wide receivers, like stuff like that. Miami's always a spot that you're going to have all great talent around you. So I mean, for a quarterback, that's something that I would choose Miami too. Basically,
That's important because playing a position that we play, like you can be as good as you want, but like you only really as good as the guys around you. Like they can help you. You know what I mean? I was
You
like
can
being a quarterback.
but you
Yeah,
can help
you can make
but
them better. You can make them better for sure. You supposed to make the whole team better, but you need a really good support system if you want to accomplish things that you really want to accomplish. So
definitely.
During your last year, obviously, when Derek got hurt, went down, basically it was going to be, chance for you to compete for the starting job for the rest of the season with Tyler.
Right.
That first game, you ended up breaking your ankle. I wanted to ask basically, like, how did that feel for you, knowing that you weren't going to be able to compete for, the QB1 job, and basically, did it take a toll on you, things like that?
Yeah, no, definitely. That definitely took a toll on me. I mean, that was my first real serious injury, and I pray that it's my last. But it definitely took a toll on me knowing that was my first college football game, right? And go out there and I see opportunity, and I felt like I was prepared for the opportunity to be able to capitalize on uh on a situation where I got to compete, and I tried to make the most of it, and went out there, ended up taking the ball, pulling it, and I don't run, but
Yeah, it's too slow to
I
go.
read, I
I should score.
yeah, man. But he got me from behind. He must have been running like a 4 flat to get me.
Shit, he was probably running like a 4.7, Jason.
Yeah, but I mean, ended up tearing 4 or 5 ligaments in my ankle, and I feel like that just it was a it was a setback for me. I guess mentally at the time. Um, Obviously mentally at the time it was a setback for me. It was a big setback for me. And it helped me find myself a little bit more, like what I really want to do, and help me, like during that time I was really just trying to dig into the offense, and lifting and trying to get myself prepared for the next year, the following year. And I feel like with the training staff that we have, Joey G got me right, and I feel like I focus on a lot more little muscles now that I didn't really focus on before, which will help me out in the future. But I mean, I just know I got to bounce back from it and come back 10 times harder.
100%.
But I really try to remember that feeling that I had, like when days get tough, like, man, we got to go back over here for this meeting, or, oh man, it's hot outside. Like, man, do you remember that feeling when you were over there walking on crutches? You know what I'm saying? Do you remember that feeling when you couldn't play and you were wishing that you could be out there? Um, so I really just hold on to that and try to use that as motivation.
That's a good mindset. And I know, like for me, like just being around you, for a year. I only played 3 games, but being around you for a year, I know how competitive you are, right? Like you always compete. You always the guy in the back of whoever's taking the rep. You always the guy in the back doing the rep on side. You know what I mean? Like trying to get your mental rep, even when you was hurt.
Right.
And that can be hard to do, like mentally, as far as like, man, I should be playing, or that could have been me, or why did I have to get hurt? You know what I'm saying? So I applaud you for even keeping that mindset. It's gonna take you a long way for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I tried to. I don't want to be the guy on the team that pulls everybody down, and as soon as I come around, it's bad energy. You know what I'm saying? And I try to really like support everybody through that time. And I remember the Florida State game. I feel like I was the most turnt one on the sideline. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just being on the sideline and supporting Tyler and making sure that he's on point so that we can get through this game and come out with the W. Or and Tyler did a great job throughout the year. And I would say that like when times got tough, just making sure that everybody was right. And I think that he did a really good job of that last year. And I feel like I tried to support him throughout that situation because he got thrown in the fire too. Um, and I just try to be there and really push everybody, motivate everybody, and hold my 1/11th of the team.
No, for sure. And I mean, that's a real respectful thing, because most people or some people wouldn't do that. You're competing with the guy and you end up getting hurt and someone else gets, basically gets the job and he's performing well. And it kind of leads into, what I wanted to talk about too is like Tyler ends up having, great rest of the season. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, Jake's going to leave. Jake's going to leave. What ultimately, was it even a decision for you? Did you even think about it? Like, or if you did, like, what made you not, because I know you're a competitor and all that stuff. Like, what made you stay?
Right. No, I feel like throughout my high school process, it was just chaos, right? And I feel like I really found a home now, and that's something that I want to hold on to and not let go. And I want to be able to win a national championship here. I want to be able to take my game to the next level and help the people around me take their game to the next level and be a part of that. So I mean, it was never really something that crossed my mind. I would like to stay and compete for it, and that's what I'm going to do. Is stay and compete for it. And I feel like the situation that we have going on within the quarterback room, I feel like that, like Dier could speak on that too. Is even though we're competing, it's a situation where we're all tight and we're all friends, and at the end of the day, we're competing, but we help each other out in a sense that if we don't know something and we have to ask a question to one another, um, we can ask a question and we know we're not going to get a wrong answer, right?
Yeah.
We know we're not going to get. I feel like at some schools you might get a wrong answer, like praying on somebody's downfall, right? And wishing bad on them. But Tyler's helped me out a lot, and I feel like Tyler's helped me out to become a better quarterback. And I think just everybody in the room has pushed each other to just be better and be better as football players and better human beings.
Bro, quarterback is the weirdest position to play in all the sports because like it's only one QB, right? So like I know like the rooms I've been a part of, like they all been supportive, right? Like it's a lot of rooms in the country that's like, man, I hope this guy sucks today in practice because I want to start. You know what I mean? And I think it's really important for the whole team, not just the quarterback room, for whoever the quarterback or whoever the guy is on the field at that time, because that's his team, it's his offense. You know what I mean? Like you guys support each other. So I know y'all doing that because we was doing it when I was there, and I know that it hasn't went anywhere. Yet the other day, Brooke had sent me a picture of y'all on the balcony. After doing it, like immediately get a little break, everybody go to the balcony, y'all just talk, drink coffee, whatever. She sent me a picture of y'all. Like, dang, I remember they used to be you. That shit crazy.
Yeah.
So I know y'all still tight. That's good.
Yeah, most definitely.
So I've been out there, so I know how spring is going for you. But if you wanted to, tell Derek, tell everybody else, how you think, spring's going for you. Like, how's the playbook coming along? What do you think about Coach Gaddis, Coach Ponce, Coach Cristobal?
Right. I think from a coach's standpoint, I'll start on that, and um, they're definitely coaching us hard. But that's what's going to take you to the next level. That's something that you got to embrace, and just accept, and really just that's what's going to take you to the next level. That's the bottom line. Is it's going to take you to the next level for sure. And I think Coach Ponce is on top of it with mechanics and the footwork aspect and getting the pre-snap read and all that type of stuff. Coach Gaddis' playbook, it's intense. The playbook's intense. It's a lot to learn, but once you get the grasp of it, which I'm still trying to get the grasp of it, and you can never learn enough, right? So I'm still trying to dig into it and really just master it and know it inside and out, so that I can teach it to Coach Gaddis, right? Um, but I love his playbook, and I feel like it's going to prepare me for the next level. And Coach Cristobal holds us to the highest of standards too. And just everybody around, and bringing back a culture that he's witnessed. He's been on national championship teams. He's won national championships, um, and just him bringing that, it holds weight. You know what I'm saying? So as far as my spring, I feel like I've had some good days and some off days. But you take those off days and you learn from them. So I feel like that's really just you got to go out there and make mistakes. And I feel like the spring's the time to do that and go out there and make mistakes and learn from it so you don't make the same mistake. And I feel like that's really helped me, and just breaking down film with Coach Ponce, meeting with him one on one, and I feel like that's really helped me throughout the spring, and I can't wait for the spring game. Just be able to go out there and play freely.
Hey, free.
I was thinking the same thing when you're talking about mistakes, because I'm learning a new playbook too,
Yeah.
and it's funny. We just get this playbook. We're just getting into it, and mistakes are the best teacher. Like, making a mistake is the best teacher, at least to me. Because when I'm out of school, yeah, it sucks. Because you make a mistake on a certain call and they're on your ass, like on your ass. But the thing is, you make a mistake on that play, on what they're saying, you'll never forget it. That mistake's not happening again. So mistakes to me, it's like always the best teacher, and it's gonna help us, learn better and move forward. I know at the beginning of the spring for me as well, I was making mistakes on some things, and now it's the last week of spring, and this week has been. You always want your last week to be your best week of practice. This week has been my best week,
Right.
on mistakes wise and things like that.
Right.
I've seen that from you and other members of the team as well.
I think a big part of that, is even though you're in a new playbook, and you know what I'm saying, you can't go half speed on it. And like as a quarterback, even if I'm like, oh man, like this would be a perfect time to pause time and turn around and say, coach, like this look, you know what I'm saying, and just ask him a question really quick and then roll with it. Like, nah, I'm sticking to my rules. This is what I have. I know what I have. And if I'm gonna make a mistake, I'm gonna do it at 100%, and I'm gonna find a way to make this work. And that's by getting a completion or knowing where your heart is and that type of deal too. So I think that's a big thing. It's just really like owning it. Like if you're out there, own it. Just own it. And if you make a mistake, you'll talk about that later. But at least you owned it in the moment, right?
It's funny that you say that, because just the other day in practice, and what I love about Coach Steele, our DC, is when he's wrong about something, he'll 100% say it. And me, beginning of the spring, I wasn't too confident on some of the things because I didn't really know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we go out there and it's a play call, and I got to call something, and I call it, this way, and I hear from the sideline just someone yelling I see Coach Steele yelling at me. And then I'm like, hell no, I'm not changing it. I know this is right. And he's yelling at me saying like to change it to something else. And then after the play, I go up to him and he's still yelling. I'm like, no, coach, I called it because of this. He's like, you're right. My fault. And I was like, oh my God. I'm over here going up to him like, dang, was I right? You know, I'm over here like,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, yeah, sticking with your guns, you know, you got to go out there and play fast. And you can never, just like, you know, quarterback, you can never just think twice about something. You got to pick something and, you know, stick with it. And it's the same thing really at linebacker. You got to make a call because you're calling something for the D-line and the DBs. You got to stick with it. You can't just change it last second because some people may get the call, some may not. I mean, it's better to just roll with it.
That's the thing is if all 11 people are wrong,
you're all right.
We're all together, right? And we're gonna make it work because we're all wrong together, but we're all on the same page.
Mm-hmm. That's the big thing we always say. If you're all wrong, you're all right.
Right.
Well, definitely appreciate you joining the show, bro. We always do this. Every guest we have, we always ask them like you can say anything like motivational to anybody or like just a word of advice for anything you want to say to for younger guys or guys with 10 older. It don't matter for anybody.
Yeah. Could be about football, could be about life, anything.
Yeah.
I would really just take that last thing that we were talking about and just own it. I would say everything that you do, just own it. Go 100% in everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? If you can apply that to anything, I feel like football is the greatest game because you can apply it to anything. If you're doing something wrong in football and you go back and you watch the film, you go back and learn, right? And it's never a loss, it's a lesson. You know what I'm saying? So really just taking your losses and turning them to lessons and learning from it, and just keep refining yourself. Just keep trying to be the best version of yourself and everything. And like Coach Cristobal talks about all the time, it's the little things that you do, and there's no little thing, right? You know what I'm saying? So there's no little thing, and because the little things add up, and the little things is what's going to get you. So just paying attention to details and everything in your life. I feel like that's really takes people to the next level in whatever their sport is, or whatever they got going on in their life.
I like that.
No, I like that for sure. Well, Jake, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate everybody that came in and listened to another episode of the King Ragone Show. And we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, bro.